Well, during President Trump's visit to Puerto Rico, he will also be meeting with victims still facing those dire conditions. Along with First Lady Melania, he's there to survey the damage nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated the island. This trip also follows widespread backlash over the president's slow response to the island's crisis. David Begnaud joins us now with the latest from San Juan. David, the president we know in Puerto Rico, what's he doing exactly? What's on the rundown for today?
Right now, the president is in Guaynabo, just outside of San Juan. Mr. Trump landed shortly before noon at a National Guard armory here in the capital of San Juan. He met with the governor and praised the governor. As your previous guest said, we also saw him shaking the hand of the mayor of San Juan, Yulene Cruz, who says she accepted an invitation to be there to meet the president. The president also made some comments that drew attention. He referenced his office and budget management director, Mick Mulvaney, as having a conversation about the budget. And then Mr. Trump proceeded to say, quote, "I have to tell you, Puerto Rico, you've thrown our budget way out of whack." Now, a little bit of context there. There's about $10 billion in the disaster relief fund, and the estimates are it's going to cost that much for the rebuilding effort here in Puerto Rico, if not more. So the president is essentially making a joke, but the White House has already said they plan to go to Congress to ask for billions of dollars more. The president also compared Hurricane Maria to Hurricane Katrina in terms of the death toll. The death toll here in Puerto Rico is 16. The death toll for Katrina in 2005 was roughly 1,800. I'm going to read you a quote from Mr. Trump. "We've saved a lot of lives. If you look at every death is a horror, but if you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina and you look at the tremendous hundreds and hundreds of people that died there, you can be very proud. 16 versus literally thousands of people. Everybody around this table and everybody watching can be really proud of what's taken place." End quote. The rest of Mr. Trump's itinerary here in San Juan is unknown. The White House is keeping that off the record. So essentially what happens is there is a media travel pool with the president, and as they get to a location, they announce then where the president is going to be. As of now, we know that the president has surveyed damage. We expect that he may potentially meet with people who have been affected. He is joined, by the way, by the First Lady and other members of his cabinet who have traveled here with him, Rena.
David, we also know that over 90% of the country remains without power. About half of the island still doesn't have running water. Any word on how long officials expect that and will continue until the changes are finally made?
No, and that's what's so frustrating, trying to get an answer from officials here. Every day there's a news conference with the governor, and he starts the news conference sort of the same way. We're doing the best we can. We're very thankful for the resources we've been given, but much more is needed. Let me tell you something. Around San Juan right now, there's people outside eating, driving, going back to work and shopping. It seems like normal life. But when you get about an hour outside San Juan, there are people standing on the side of a mountain sipping from a stream because that's the only water they have to drink. There are store shelves around this island, a majority of grocery stores that don't have the bread and water that they need. I asked the governor today, what more do you need to move this past an emergency situation? And he said something he hasn't said before, which is there may be a communication issue in terms of once the food gets to where it's going, letting the people there know where to find it. So for example, in the community of Utuado, where people have not had running water or electricity since the height of the storm, one of the hardest hit areas, he's saying that maybe the local mayor there and in other places around the island don't have a way of getting word to the people to come to a certain location to pick up the food. So what are they going to do? The governor said they're going to start using megaphones, going around town telling people, hey, listen, there's food, water, medicine, and other supplies at this one location, come to it. And in areas in the central part of the island that they can't get to, they're going to use helicopters that have broadcast equipment to tell mass people below where they can find aid. Because we keep hearing from FEMA, Rena, oh, we visited every municipality. But then we keep getting messages from people who've said, I haven't seen help in 5 days, 6 days. Where is it?
Yeah, David, just to hear you say that megaphones could make a difference, you know, to get the word out is so compelling. Sometimes with these stories, David, it's the extreme resilience that you see. Have you seen any of that in Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. 2 words I would use to describe Puerto Ricans: resilient and patient. I mean, think about this. It is brutally hot here right now, okay? Only 5% of the island has electricity. People are still waiting in line to get gas. They're waiting in line to get food. There is no drinking water in most places of the island. If you want water, you got to get it from a bottle. If you don't have it, you're out of luck. And that's the situation that the majority of Puerto Ricans find themselves in. 13 days after this storm made landfall, there is still an emergency on this island.
David Begnaud on the ground in San Juan, Puerto Rico. David, thank you.